Hello YouTube, Zulu67 here, and this time I'm back with a tutorial on PcPartPicker. So this website is used by technicians to put together some parts for a PC build and to make sure that each part is compatible with each other without costing too much money. You know, you can save a lot of money by using this website. It will ensure that you have everything you need to build a PC, and my tutorial today will be based on basic uses, like YouTube and surfing the web, doing some documents on their computer. Maybe they want to do some email, anything like that, and I'm going to try to do it in a way that won't be too cheap so that you can expand later, that kind of thing. So starting with the processor, they have second and third generation processors, they have 8th, they have 9th generation processors. I'm going to choose the 8100 i3 from Intel. This processor has 4 processing cores, and it is the previous generation from Intel, which is the 8th gen, but it's still relevant today. It's not bad. It'll get the job done in terms of getting a computer up and running very quickly. It's very efficient on the wattage, and it only costs $120 right now, so I'm going to choose that one. Okay, so that's the processor. Now the next part on the list will be the motherboard. Oh, by the way, this processor already comes with a cooler, so you don't need to choose any aftermarket cooler or any liquid cooling. That would be like an overkill for a processor like this. It's very cool running. You won't have any problems with heat with this processor at all. It'll run just fine as is. So I'm going to go with the motherboard. Okay, now for the motherboard, a motherboard like this would be an overkill. For a 8100, you really don't need a motherboard like this. It'll be nice to have, but the reason why it'll be overkill is because it's a very basic processor. It doesn't need a Z390 chipset, although it would help with the expandability a little bit. I'm basing this on someone that is just very basic. They don't need a whole lot of features. So I'm going to go back to the list. I'm going to select the Gigabyte model, this one right here, because this chipset is very basic, but it will still support the 8th and 9th generation processors. So just in case you wanted to go and upgrade your processor to a 9th generation, you could still do that on a board like this. And I'm going to go check out the ratings right now on Amazon. As you can see, it does support RGB memory and very good graphics card. You see, this person has a very beefy graphics card on their system. They even have a 600 watt power supply in here, and you can see all that to the side panel window. It's very, very good. And Gigabyte is a very good brand. They make very good motherboards for the price. This is the I/O for the back of the board. So you got your USB and PS2, DVI. Everything is here that you'll need to connect your computer. 4 RAM slots here, 1151 socket, RGB accents. You get some RGB. Not a whole lot, but at least you get some. Based on these ratings right now, I'd say this is a very good price, $73.99. So I'm going to add this to the list. Okay, that is the motherboard and processor so far. Now for memory, if you want to make sure that your memory is going to be compatible with your motherboard, the best way I know how to do it is by searching for the processor type. This is an i3 8100, and okay, it doesn't say on this list, but this is what I'll do. I'm going to come in here and open a new tab and just search 8100 i3. This is the Intel website, and Intel has all of their processors on their website, and they tell you what memory the processor supports. So this is DDR4 2400. See, 2400 is the speed of the memory modules that it supports, and based on this information, I'll just go back here to the list and select memory based on that information right now. DDR4 2400 megahertz is what I'll select here on this left pane here. Now you could go with a single stick of 8 gigs total, but it's always more efficient to go with 2 sticks of memory. So what I'll do is select 2 by 4 instead of just 1, because it will put it in dual channel mode, and it's always more efficient that way. So they have G-Skill, Crucial, they have Patriot, Corsair Vengeance, all these different modules. These will all work on this board because PcPartPicker, like I said, is compatible to search for memory modules based on the compatibility, the ratings, and the price. G-Skill is the best choice right now, so I'll go with the G-Skill Ripjaw series, 2x4 2400 megahertz memory. Check on Amazon for the ratings. Okay, second sit with Memtest failures. Oh, he tested it with Memtest 86 and it failed. BSOD errors. That's a bad review, but Okay, this one, the one down here, bad set. Couldn't figure out why system was so slow. I usually look at RAM. Okay, so he got a bad set. Good set, good reliable memory from a good company. Don't these things look so cool? I shouldn't have 16 gigabytes though. Yeah, you could always go with 16 gigs in the beginning, but I'm doing this tutorial based on a basic user. Most users just don't want to spend a lot of money on memory if they don't have to. So I mean, these two up here have bad reviews, but it could be that they either installed the memory wrong or they just had bad luck and they had them dead on arrival. I still think that this kit is very good because it does have good overall ratings from Amazon. So based on that, I'll use these two sticks. For storage, it is recommended by the industry today that to have at least one solid state drive for the boot drive, and you can select your drive based on capacity, speed, and the brand. And right now, based on these prices, this one here is a Kingston Air 400 240 gig. This is not a bad price, but right now the M.2 is taking over the industry. This one right here on this list, so I'll go with this one for now. And it is a very fast drive, but it's only 500 gigabytes in capacity. So in order to store things like your games and documents, music, if you have any big files at all, you're going to need more storage than that. So I'll go with the Western Digital Caviar Blue for now, so you can store all of your other files. Alright, 10,608 ratings. Always test your new drives whenever you get a new hard drive. Run a bad luck scan. I'm not sure what a bad luck scan is, but you can always benchmark hard drive speeds using Crystal Disk Mark. So I'm not sure what that is. So he was talking about shitty trick Amazon. I'm looking for other reviews that cannot hear it whatsoever. Comes with excellent package protection, amazing drives. I always buy Western Digital Black. Yeah, Western Digital Black is the performance series of Western Digital drives. So if you're gonna use one of these drives for everything, it's always best to get a Western Digital Caviar Black if you're gonna go with a single one of these drives. But since we already have the M.2 for the boot drive, which is the fast one, this one is just fine. And it's only $40 right now, $44.99 from Amazon, so I'll choose that. For the graphics, unless you were going to do any gaming at all, the integrated graphics is just fine. And it's because it has the HD630. So HD630 is from Intel. I mean, it's slow. It's not recommended for gaming at all. But to get a computer up and running, if you're just going to use it for basic tasks, this is just fine as is. So I don't have to add a graphics card to this build. For this tutorial, I won't have to do that. So I'll just go over to the case. You could go all crazy here, you know, nothing is set in stone, but for this tutorial right now, I'm just looking for the best price possible without it compromising the build. And this is the Corsair 200R ATX form factor, $74.99. As you can see, you have cutouts for your I/O shield and expansion bays here for graphics cards, other PCI Express cards as well. This is the cutout for your power supply. This is the inside of the case here. This is the side view. So you actually get to see everything about the case before you even purchase it. This is the front panel here, the USB 3.0. You have the audio jacks here and the power and reset button here. And I'm now starting to see that most modern cases now are removing the 5¼ inch drive base, which may or may not affect you, because if you have a DVD drive, you may need that to put into this, to one of these bays up here. And based on these reviews right now, faulty front panel, main power switch, fantastic case for the money, awful case. You can go check out another case just in case I get better reviews overall. They have some cases that have a lot of RGB strips in them. That's not necessary to have, honestly. I just trying to choose one that is a good price for now, before all those extra frills. So this one seems to have very good reviews so far. Alright. Okay, I chose the Thermaltake Versa H15 Micro ATX May Tower. I've seen some tutorials on YouTube with this case being part of the list, and I do like the look of it. It supports almost any modern motherboard today, so I'll go with that one. The micro ATX form factor isn't a bad standard to go with. You just have to understand that it won't support, you know, multiple graphics cards or anything like that. Some compromises have to be made, and there are not a whole lot of compromises, so I'll choose that based on the motherboard size for now. Now, power supply. You need to provide power to your build, but I've seen people overspend on their power supply a lot, and I'm going to tell you right now, you don't have to do that, and here's why. This is a website called the Outer Vision Power Supply Calculator that you can use to find out exactly how much wattage you'll need. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the parts one by one to find out how much power each of these draw. Starting with the processor, the 8100 i3. I have 2 sticks of memory, so this is the memory list for the modules. 2x4 DDR4 module, which I have here. Graphics cards. There are no graphics cards present right now in the build, so I'll skip this part. For storage, I'll choose one M.2 SSD and then one 7200 RPM SATA. So that will represent these 2 parts here. There are no optical drives, PCI Express cards, PCI cards, keyboards, mice. None of that is needed for the computer to run, so I'll just calculate this right now. Alright, now according to this chart, the low wattage is 188 watts and the recommended PSU is 238 watts. So based on that information, they already know that the processor and all the parts that they have in here are very low wattage parts. So they're recommending the EVGA 500 watt 80 plus bronze efficiency, 3-year warranty, available at Amazon, and here it is, $44.99. So I'll choose that unit based on that information from this list. Here it is, the BR version of the 500 watt. Now for the operating system, you're gonna need at least 1 copy of Windows to install on your M.2 SSD, and you could go with the pro version, you could, but I'm doing this tutorial based on if somebody was a home user, and it's only about $100 right now for the home version, which I'm assuming most people, if they're gonna buy a laptop or a desktop, it's gonna come with the home version anyway, so I'm gonna use this. There's a lot of hate right now on Windows 10 saying that it tracks you and it's not as good as 7 or anything like that, but as far as I know, I've been using Windows 10 now for over a year. It has not really given me any issues that I can detect. As long as your hardware is up to date, it'll run just fine. So that's the OEM version of the home version for Windows 10, so I'll choose that for now. And this is the retail price for everything here, $539.90. And I'm not going to include any monitor screen or keyboard or mouse or anything like that. I'm going to assume that you already have those parts. All you need is a tower with everything in it, and this is the best way to do it. You know, you have a very good processor that has 4 cores, a very basic motherboard, but it still has everything you need. 8 gigs of memory, 1 terabyte hard drive, 500 gigabyte M.2, a good solid case from Thermaltake. You know, you have a 500 watt power supply and Windows 10 home. I would definitely build this. I would definitely recommend these parts. They don't cost too much and they'll get the job done. And that's my tutorial. This is Zulu67. Leave a like and comment if you like this tutorial. You can ask any questions about it. I'll get back to you later on that. But that's it for now, guys. Signing off.